we have patch notes that SDF put out last night. He made a mention in Discord that they were ending the balance test, and there was a lot of head scratching going on. We know what the answer to that is now, and I have issues with it. So if you've ever been looking for me to say something relatively negative about Dark and Darker, here is the negative. Constructive criticism, though. I'm trying not to be an overly negative douche. I try to stay Switzerland as best I can. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Here's the notes. I can't show them to you on Discord. I had to go to Twitter. The reason why is because right now Discord is undergoing a DDoS attack. Cloudflare pretty much blocked the entire east coast of the United States, so I can't see Discord right now unless I'm doing it from my phone, which is going to be kind of difficult to show you guys, right? So anyway, you can read it right here, but the long and short of it is they nerfed occultist boots, they nerfed torches, and they nerfed lanterns, and they gave rogues a little bit of love, which I believe that they needed. They also gave bards a bit more range on a couple of their abilities, which I also think was relatively needed, and they brought jack-o'-lantern back. So now candy corn is a lootable item, and there is a vendor for that. And they also fixed curse mastery for warlock, so you can use that now, which is good because curse mastery was really broken. We kind of needed that one. It's nice. It adds a couple of seconds to the duration of Curse of Pain, which is pretty sweet. Anyway, they went in and they said that they wanted to now adjust. They're opening up stats and stat disparity, more RNG kind of stuff for gear. But that also means that gear can roll very, very powerfully. And again, I wish I had screen caps to be able to show you for this, but my Discord log where I had all the screenshots is down. But here's an example. So this purple battle axe is 2 all, plus 2 all is available on all gear now. Anything that is like blue quality or better can get a +2 all roll, and +4, up to +4 weapon and +4 additional physical damage can roll on 2-handed weapons, purple weapons. So I don't know if they roll a +4 on blues. Somebody in the comments can probably say this, whether or not that's true, but anything that takes up like a 2-handed slot, like a longbow or a crystal sword or obviously a battle axe. I haven't seen any +4s on one-handed purples, but I have on all the two-hand-held weapons. But they've rolled +4, like +4 weapon damage, +4 physical, and +2 all. So you can see how this starts to like spiral out of control. Also, all of the armor pieces can roll +3 weapon damage and +3 additional physical damage on top of that, which then again creates a problem. If I may, and this is where the issue lies. Obviously, gear disparity, the stuff between guys that are running around in like whites and greens versus guys in purples, should have some amount of market difference, right? I think we all can agree that gear should matter. That's a thing that should be in the game. The problem becomes when that gear disparity gets so wide that the guys in the really, really high-end, high-damage stuff can go down into like the lower tier player area and just roll them, right? Now, granted, there is the ability for counterplay, and that's the important distinction here. I think there is a place in this game for people that don't have an awful lot of really high-end gear to be able to counterplay, or should be able to counterplay, the guys in amazing gear that are coming in trying to roll people. It should still be a feeling of nervousness, maybe not necessarily super nervous, maybe somewhat comfortable, but still there should be a feeling of nervousness or anxiety associated with coming across anyone in this game, regardless of what it is that they have. Unless, of course, you see a rogue running around in like brand new daggers or something, and they're wearing gray, maybe then they're not as dangerous. But considering that all of these plus damage modifiers are now back in the game to where they're rolling on all of this other armor and items and stuff, and since they're not modifying existing gear, if they were to patch change this again and change the balance around, that means that all this legacy stuff stays in the pool, and it causes a problem to where guys end up pooling up all of this amazing stuff, and then they just go and roll people again. That needs to change. The game needs to create a system where High Roller, for instance, has a large enough carrot to it where the guys with really good gear want to go in and get things accomplished. At the same time, there also needs to be some type of thing to dissuade the guys in ultra high gear from going into normals and just rolling over grays. I am of the opinion that it shouldn't matter all that much. Either they can make it so that the guys in lower level gear are still a threat to the guys in really great gear, or they need to modify it in some kind of a way where the guys in really good gear just don't want to go back down into normals anymore, because it just doesn't make sense. Either make the gear so good coming out of High Roller that it doesn't make sense to ever go back to normals ever again, or make it so that normals don't drop amazing gear, like cap it at blues or something, so that you're only ever getting purples and better from some higher tier of dungeon. I don't really know what the answer is here. But as I see it right now, this is going to become one-tap city. Rangers are already dangerous with longbows as it is. With all of this extra damage gear, it's going to go back to seeing Rangers hitting 150, 180 plus headshots from a purple longbow and some halfway decent itemized stuff. That's a problem for most of the player base, because the moment that they're on the receiving end of that, it's going to cause issues. I'm all about counterplay. There needs to be a way to be able to counterplay guys that end up stacking all this damage. There is the potential. I will say that. There is the potential here. I've seen a screenshot, which again, I can't share because it's in the friggin' Discord log. There is the potential to get amazing PDR and magic damage resist, MDR. I've seen a screenshot with a barbarian that had 70% PDR and 70% MDR. So it's possible, given all of the gear changes, that we could see a lot more damage resistance, which would create a need for all of the plus damage gear. I see late game meta being more about true damage right now and penetration chance on gear than about like ignoring armor altogether and ignoring magic resist. I see that being the thing that we move into, as opposed to stacking plus damage. It's going to be more about true damage and penetration stats, at least on paper. But right now, the curve to get up to that point is going to be stacked with people that are going to be buying a whole bunch of plus damage gear like it was last patch, and I think that it's going to make the TTK, the time to kill, incredibly short. It's going to frustrate a lot of people, and I dislike this. I think that they should go back to something closer to what it was yesterday, when we didn't have all of this plus damage gear floating around, and augment a little bit on the rogue side, like they did in the patch notes, to provide what it's been providing already, and that has been really good counterplay, really good strategizing. Honestly, the fights weren't all that long lasting. It's not like people were standing there hacking away at each other. People were still dying in 2 and 3 hits, even with the way that the game was built now. So I like I said, I don't know what the answer is, but I don't think that this is it. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for coming by and checking out the video. I will be live on Twitch as soon as this video is live. As always, if you would consider subbing the channel here, that would be really amazing. Thanks so much for lending me your eyeballs. You guys are amazing, and I will see you in the next one, okay? Peace.